This is the first boss. He's pretty straightforward, as you can see. All you basically have to do is just jump on his head, avoid his little spawns. Um, but see, you can just stay on his head. I mean, they will keep coming out, but just try to avoid them. Or if you can, I mean, you could kill him too. I just find it easier to keep bouncing on him, but be careful when you fall, like I did right there. Just keep bouncing on his head, and you should be okay. The second boss, it's pretty simple too, but you have to be aware of the waterfalls behind you. They help you sink to avoid them. As you can see, I get hit a couple of times. Once he starts spawning his little ads, you could try to shoot him down to help you out, but he picks up speed the lower in life he gets. And if he starts getting out his little spawn, see like there, he just starts like multiplying. Started with 2, he dropped 4. So you just gotta time his dive basically and try to avoid his little baby. See, they just keep coming out more and more. So every time he spawns more ads, it usually doubles. And as you can see, I got hit a few times, but I was fortunate enough to be able to bounce on his head and survive. Okay, this third boss goes in a rotation of right to left, down to the bottom to top, and you just gotta shoot at it. You know, shoot your little rice cakes at it, and just do as much damage as you can while avoiding the ads. She picks up speed the lower life she gets. So just try to avoid the ads. You could duck, you could jump on her head, whatever helps you avoid them. As you can see, she picks up a lot of speed the lower she gets in health. So I mean, just jump over her when she gets close to you. Try to avoid those ads. As you can see, they mainly stay on top, and just shoot whatever ads are coming on the bottom. You should be fine. World Boss 4. Now this boss fight could be a little tricky. The whole premise of this fight is to not be standing on the platform of the color switch that's walking on top it's about to hit. So what I mean to say is, if it's about to hit the blue switch, do not be standing on the blue platform. Stand on anything that it's not about to hit and try to kill the boss. The boss does not come down. It just goes left to right and spawns more ads, making it a little bit trickier for you to jump. So as long as you stay on the platform color that's not about to be hit by the NPC on top, you should be fine. Magicat Boss 5. This is what I consider a pattern boss. A boss that has a routine on attacking, and it's just something you have to pick up and memorize. So as you can see here, he starts off shooting 2 projectiles, one low, one high. You could just jump between them or duck his shots and hit him. As you can see, he goes invulnerable and shoots 2. Eventually he's going to be normal and shooting 2. So then just keep dunking and jumping over his shots and hitting him. Eventually, later in the fight, you're going to be using those bounce pads to jump over his triple shot, float down, and hit him midair, basically, as you come down. See, as you can see, he's shooting double. Eventually, he will start doing that, see, like now. So you just got to pick up on the timing. As you can see, I got hit a couple of times myself. But once you pick up on that timing, he shouldn't be a problem. As you can see, yep, here comes the triple shots. Use the bounce pad, float, and avoid them. And see, now he's normally shooting him. So you gotta be careful here. Especially me, I had 1 life. And this is just rinse and repeat. Just avoid those shots. Hit them. And like I said before, you should be fine. Now I could have made this faster, probably jumping in between shots, both shots, and hitting them. But since I had 1 life, I just wanted to play it safe. World 1, Boss 6. Now, being completely honest, I am not too sure what triggers this guy to be vulnerable again. All I kept doing was hitting the switch. It would knock him into the spikes and I could hit him. But there's a moment where you do enough damage that he becomes very invulnerable, and it seems like you have to bring him down to send him back up. See, he's still invulnerable, still spawning ads. So I'm trying to avoid him and send him up, see? And it does damage to him and spawns the ads. Now, I'm not too sure what the spikes on the side do. I was just trying to do as much damage as I could and avoid his little ads. See, here they come down. I'm trying to avoid them. See, he's still invulnerable though. So I'm not sure if it's a time thing or it's something else. See, he comes down and he's vulnerable. So I'm guessing it's a time thing. But eventually, as you can see, I ended up beating him, and that was pure luck. I really had no idea how the mechanics on that fight worked. Magicat boss 1-7. 7th boss, and this was really a pain in the butt to figure out and get going. But this is another pattern type fight, where as you can see the projectiles coming at you. You basically have to sometimes stand on that button and let that little NPC behind you hit him. Eventually he'll start shooting projectiles at you. Well, he's shooting them at you now, but you could duck them. But as you can see, he'll start shooting them low, so you have to avoid them. And it gets tough around here where you have to avoid his projectiles, but also avoid the guy behind you shooting him. So it just becomes a jump on the button, run away, and duck both shots. As you can see right here, this is the best I could do. Step on the button, run back, jump once the upper shot passes me. And this is just rinse and repeat, and just hoping you don't get hit. So it's a lot of timing. So what I figured out was I jumped over the first 3 shots, and on the second one, just stand on the button. So watch this. It'll be like duck, jump, duck, jump. It's like a timing that I got with the guy behind me shooting. So as you can see here, I'm doing it myself. But eventually I pick up on the pattern on what to do. See, with this one, all I did was jump, basically short jump. Don't hold the button down because you're float. So just tap it and jump over him. See, he starts shooting in 2s now. He changed his pattern. But once you get this, the fight is pretty simple. It's a lot of timing. But it was a pain in the butt because I had to fight this guy, I would say at least 5 or 6 times before I got him. And here we are, the final boss of World 1, the Bee. Oh, the Bee. I literally spent around 30 to 40 minutes trying to figure her out and beat her. So what goes on is she attacks you by dropping things on the ground that you try to avoid. and not get hit. But as you jump, she could also fly into you. She flies up, she flies down, she drops her little saws, and you basically avoid her trying to jump on her or hit him with your little rice cakes. When you do enough damage, you'll go invulnerable, fly to one of the top corners, and then come down where you have to jump on her and break her shield. If you time your jumps right, you could hit the tip of her nose or the tip of her forehead and get jumps in for damage. But you also have to avoid her diving into you as you jump. So as you can see there, when she comes down from invulnerability, what I do after jumping is just shoot the rice cake straight up, because she flies straight up to get a couple of bars in the damage. Eventually during her last phase, like here, she'll jump towards the middle where you have to step on the green button, jump on your saw, hover across and jump on her to do damage. And then you just rinse and repeat and try to do as much damage as you can to her while avoiding her saws. The tough part about this fight is timing, because when you jump, she might jump directly into you and you're the one that loses in the exchange. There's times where you have to do what I did to get out of a corner. Just take the hit, you go invulnerable for like a second and run to the other side. So this is where I finish her off. I'm just trying to play as patiently as I can, because I really want to go over there and jump on her, but I know if I jump, she might fly forward. So I just waited and I managed to get two of the rice cakes off and kill her.